I'd like to call this meeting to order. Please rise for a salute to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay. This meeting is convened in accordance with the provisions of the Open Public Meetings Act of New Jersey. Let the official minutes reflect that adequate notice of this meeting has been provided by publishing a notice in the Asbury Park Press on Friday, January 8, 2021. The Press of Atlantic City and the Star Ledger, and also forwarded to the Toms River Times, Toms River Patch, and WOBM News on Wednesday, January 6, 2021, and thereafter posting same on the Town Hall Bulletin Board for such notices and filing same with the Township Clerk pursuant to a resolution adopted by the Township Council on Tuesday, January 5th, 2021. The meeting dates have also been posted on the Township webpage. Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Urick.
Here.
Councilman Kopp.
Here.
Councilman Lotano.
Here.
Councilman Roderick.
I received a text from Councilman Roderick today is unable to attend the meeting.
And I received the same text, so I will second that motion by Councilman Turnbuck.
Motion made to excuse the absence of Councilman Roderick, made by Councilman Turnbuck, seconded by Council Vice President Maruka. Councilman Turnbuck.
Yes.
Council Vice President Maruka.
Yes.
Councilwoman Urick.
Yes.
Councilman Kopp.
Yes.
Councilman Lotano.
Yes.
Council President Gagan.
Yes.
Councilman Turnbuck.
Here.
Council Vice President Maruka.
Present?
Council President Gagan.
Here.
The first item, the minutes of August 24th, 2021.
Move the minute.
Second.
Motion was made by Councilwoman Urick, seconded by Councilman Lotano. Councilwoman Urick.
Yes.
Councilman Lotano.
Yes.
Councilman Kopp.
Yes.
Councilman Turnbuck.
Yes.
Council Vice President Maruka.
Yes.
Council President Gagan.
Yes.
Tonight we have for honoring resolutions and presentations the Toms River East Little League.
Move the resolutions and presentations. Second?
Motion was made by Council Vice President Maruka, seconded by Councilwoman Urick. Council Vice President Maruka.
Yes.
Councilwoman Urick.
Yes.
Councilman Kopp.
Yes.
Councilman Lotano.
Yes.
Councilman Turnbuck.
Yes.
Council President Gagan.
Yes. Council, if you will please join me. Well, good evening, all. Congratulations. You made us proud once again. At this time, I'd like to call the coaches up, and we'll present you with a proclamation, and then we've got a bunch of certificates for each of the boys if you want to call them up individually. Again, there's a lot of whereas and whatnot, but you guys certainly did a beyond fantastic job, spending time away from your families, the kids as well. It's a lot of commitment, even to get to that point. I'd like to say a few words before we bring them each up. I know you have dinner waiting, so we're going to make this quick, You don't want to hear political speeches. Oh, he's got it. That's all right.
Well, I just want to thank, first of all, the players for playing as well as you did. You guys were awesome. Parents, as usual, you know how I feel about you. And thank you for having us here. It's wonderful that you recognize us like you're doing. Thank you so much.
I'm proud to be here and support. So I guess Councilwoman Maruka can hand you each certificate if you want to call the boys up individually, and then, yep.
Actually, we have a certificate of congratulations
Yeah.
for you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Great.
you want to do it? We'll do it in order. Yeah, he's not here. He's not here? Okay. Joey DeMayo. Joe. Make sure you think. Jason Vitarosa. Max Micah. Carson Frazier. Cole Garrison. Christopher Tenero. Nope. Kaylin Cimarelli. Nope. Dominic Sabatino. Jayla McLean. And let me guess, Adrian Bellotti. Okay, we'll have to stand in front. Just one thing real fast. On behalf of Tom's River East Little League, I'm also the president there. I just want to say we have an amazing town, an amazing mayor, town council. You guys were all super supportive. We couldn't have done it without all of you. This is one community, and it's really special. So super proud of the town that we live in and where we grow up, and I'm super proud of the kids, so thank you.
We have one more presentation. Our come on over. Our former clerk took the Toms River Township flag to Williamsport, and he had it signed. And I had it flown over Town Hall on the day of remembrance, 20th anniversary. Toms River Fire Company #1 had their ceremony, and this flag was flying on that flagpole. So I'd like the boys to hold it open so they can see the signatures. We get a picture in front, okay? Mark, I'm sorry, it looks like it might have hit the ground. Is that okay? Okay?
Guys, come on over here.
Yeah. Stay behind and hold the flag.
We're good.
All right. We'll just take a few minute recess so those can leave, all right? I know you don't want to stay for the rest. Thank you for coming.
Actually, he couldn't make it tonight, he's coming next meeting.
Oh, okay.
Dave Crock, because they already did the,
Yeah, sometimes they do both.
well, yeah, no, they did the event itself when he retired. They did his retirement event.
nice.
But I guess we don't have it ready, or... Okay. Let's rock and roll.
Gotcha. Oh, you can close the door.
Okay, we'll continue on. Item number 7, please.
Continuing on with the agenda, item number 7 is an ordinance of the Township Council of the Township of Toms River, Ocean County, New Jersey, amending and supplementing Section 8.26 signs of Chapter 348 Land Use and Development Regulations of the Township Code to revise the general design guidelines for all signage within the township. This is a final reading.
It's a final read. Does any member of the public have any questions?
Seeing none, I move to close the public comments portion for this ordinance.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Move the ordinance on final.
Second.
Motion was made by Councilmember Kopp, seconded by Councilmember Urick. Councilmember Kopp.
Yes.
Councilmember Urick.
Yes.
Councilmember Lotano.
Yes.
Councilman Turnbach.
Yes.
Council Vice President Maruka.
Yes.
Council President Gagan.
Yes.
Item 8, an ordinance of the Township of Toms River in the County of Ocean, New Jersey, amending and supplementing Chapter 121, Hotels and Motels of the Township Code to establish a hotel and motel occupancy tax pursuant to NJSA 48:48F-1, final reading.
This is a final reading. Does any member of the public have any questions or comments on this?
Seeing none, I move to close the public comments portion for this ordinance.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Move the ordinance on final.
Second.
Motion was made by Councilwoman Urick, seconded by Councilman Lotano. Councilwoman Urick.
Yes.
Councilman Lotano.
Yes.
Councilman Kopp.
Yes.
Councilman Turnbach.
Yes.
Council Vice President Maruka.
Yes.
Council President Gagan.
Yes.
Item 9 is an ordinance of the Township Council of the Township of Toms River, Ocean County, New Jersey, authorizing entry of a real estate purchase and sale agreement with FDS Toms River LLC as a designated redeveloper of Block 606.02, lots 394, 395, 406, 409, 410, and 411 within the Hooper Cordina redevelopment plan area for development of the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs Community-Based Outpatient Clinic. This is a final reading.
This is the final reading. Does any member of the public wish to be heard? Have any comments? Mr. Anderson, come on.
Art Anderson, 12 Park Street. Mr. Roberts actually explained some of the questions, but I just have one thing that I want to make aware of, that all 6 pieces of property aren't actually all going to be used for the VA. So we're giving the developer some property that they're not being used for the VA. And then I just questioning why, I think it was, I'm trying to think of the date, on the payroll for August 6th, we paid $11,535 for appraisal, and we're only selling for $10. Are we going to get reimbursed for that, or is that something we just lost?
Not sure what the second part of that question is, but the first part about the...
Well, we're selling it
appra-
tonight for $10, right? The property?
I'd have to pull that up on my computer. I didn't log my laptop on of all nights because I thought it was going to be a quick, easy meeting, but...
Okay. It's going to be quick.
No, we want to get your questions answered, certainly.
No, I was just curious about why we paid $11,533 for appraisal when we're selling it for $10.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that was the appraisal just for that property or...
It's my question.
Yeah,
Should be your
There's a lot-
question, too.
there's a lot of appraisals going on in town with different items for open
Well,
space and whatnot.
it says on there, the Hooper Codina redevelopment appraisal. That's what it says on the
Okay.
bill. So,
I don't have an answer to that question.
sorry. I just want to make a statement and let everyone know that all the property-
I'll look into that. What was the date on that, Mr. Anderson?
It was August 6th for Henry J. Mancini and Associates,
And it was 11,000?
$535.
Okay.
Thank you.
So,
I think Mr. Roberts.
Yeah, I see you creeping on.
because of
Come on.
course the property is going to be worth more than $10. There's
Yeah.
more to it than that.
Yeah. Can you answer both parts of those questions?
Those appraisals were necessary for the submission to the VA because we needed to have the property values. There's probably 3 or 4 different, at least, property owners that own various parts of that property there. Each parcel had to be separately appraised. So you're talking about the total cost of multiple appraisals that had to be done in order for the submission to the VA to be submitted. That's how they were able to determine how much the developer was going to pay for the property. So not just the township properties that are involved, but the private properties that were involved. So we effectively covered, and that will be reimbursed through the escrow account from the redeveloper for Hooper Cordina redevelopment area. But it was necessary to be able to establish the property value. The other thing I'll mention while I'm up here is just to answer clarify Mr. Anderson's question about the redevelopment area. The FD Stonewater was the designated redeveloper for the entire Hooper Cordina redevelopment area, but the VA is on a portion of that, not the entire site. So they're the designated redeveloper, but the redevelopment agreement specifically is for the VA clinic itself, which is a part of the overall redevelopment area.
Okay.
And I guess that's what I'm trying to get at. If you look at number 7, I don't think we should be putting on the VA on that, just the redevelopment. So in other words, we're giving it to the developer, but not for the VA. It's almost like, looks like we're giving it to the VA and not to the developer, if that makes any sense.
Okay.
Right, so
All right.
it should say Hooper Claudinia redevelopment project instead of VA.
Yes.
I understand you, I understand.
Well, it
But
does say that. It does say that. It
With-
says
within
within
the
the Hooper
Hooper
Claudina
Claudina
redevelopment area for development of the U.S.
Department of Veterans Affairs.
Commission-based outpatient clinic.
Yeah, I
But it's
know.
within the entire redevelopment area. We just don't have one lot designated as a redevelopment for the VA. It's a specific area in there because there's more to it than just the clinic with roads and things that's specific of that nature.
And I do
everything.
understand that. I'm just saying that everyone keeps thinking this is all for the VA building, but it's not for the VA building, correct?
The redevelopment area
for the
is
whole
larger.
redevelopment.
It's for the The
Yes.
entire redevelopment area, correct.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Is there any other comments from the public? Okay.
Seeing none, move to close public comment.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Move the ordinance on final.
Second.
Motion was made by Council Vice President Maruka, seconded by Councilwoman Yurick. Council Vice President Maruka?
Yes.
Councilwoman Yurick?
Yes.
Councilman Kopp?
Yes.
Councilman Lotano?
Yes.
Councilman Turnbach?
Yes.
And Council President Gagan.
Yes.
Item 10, an ordinance reappropriating $985,532.25 of the proceeds of obligations not needed for their original purposes in order to provide for a capital improvement in and by the Township of Toms River and the County of Ocean, New Jersey. This is a final reading.
Okay. Does any member of the public have any comments on item 10? Yes, ma'am. Good evening. Name and address for the record.
Catherine Galiotto Gillespie on Greenview Way in scenic Toms River. And I noticed besides this ordinance, which I know is final, there's also a first reading that kind of relates to it. And I was wondering if any of the elected officials or authorities, the experts, could kind of elaborate on how these might go together. It seems as though, correct me if I'm wrong, the one ordinance purchases with this reappropriated money the parcel, and then there is a leasing that is before the council to consider as well on first reading. So I'm just looking for some more details on what this project might be, its history, and its intention.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay, so.
Want to handle that, Mr. Evans?
Yeah, sure. To answer the question about the reappropriation, this was old bond money that was no longer needed. So it's being reappropriated to apply to the purchase of the companion ordinance that you just referenced. It's the Clayton Service Center, or the Boy Scout property on Whitesville Road. It's almost 4 acres with a building on it. The township has negotiated a sales price of $1.1 million for it. Some other considerations that'll be signed pursuant to the passage of the next ordinance at the next council meeting. So one is to reappropriate, essentially 90% of the cost of the project from old money. The second is to authorize the purchase agreement and signing of the contract.
And can you elaborate more? I know, of course, it hasn't been passed yet, you're voting on it, but maybe what some of the intentions of this open space property might be, should it pass, and how it might be as part of the...
Well, I don't think we've gotten there yet. It's a property that is adjacent to and abuts the Camp Alba condo project.
Right.
It's along the river, and it's pristine property with the exception of the building on it, so it makes a lot of sense to protect that in terms of, right now, it's just an open space purchase.
Thank you very much.
Okay?
Thank you. Any other member of the public have any questions on item 10? Okay.
Seeing none, move to close public comment.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Move the ordinance on final.
Second.
Motion was made by Council Vice President Maruka, seconded by Councilmember Yurick. Council Vice President Maruka.
Yes.
Councilwoman Yurick.
Yes.
Councilman Kopp.
Yes.
Councilman Lotano.
Yes.
Councilman Turnbach.
Yes.
Council President Gagan.
Yes.
Item 11, ordinance of the Township Council of the Township of Toms River, Ocean County, New Jersey, authorizing the purchase of certain real property designated as Lot 87 in Block 411, as shown on the official tax maps of the Toms River Township pursuant to the provisions of NJSA 40A:12-5, and further authorizing the leasing thereof to Jersey Shore Council, Incorporated, Boy Scouts of America, for nominal consideration pursuant to NJSA 40A:12-14C, first reading.
Move the ordinance on
first.
oh, sorry. Second.
Whatever.
Motion was made by Councilwoman Yurick, seconded by Councilman Lotano. Councilwoman Yurick.
Yes.
Councilman Lotano.
Yes.
Councilman Kopp.
Yes.
Councilman Turnbach.
Yes.
Council Vice President Maruka.
Yes.
Council President Gagan.
Yes.
Moving on to item 12, an ordinance reappropriating $1,396,007.38 of the proceeds of obligations not needed for their original purposes in order to provide for a capital improvement in and by the Township of Toms River and the County of Ocean, New Jersey.
Okay, this
Final
is-
reading.
This is the final reading. Does any member of the public wish to be heard or have any comments?
Seeing none, I move to close the public portion of this.
Comment?
Yeah, sorry.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye. Move the ordinance on final.
Second?
Motion was made by Councilwoman Yurick, second by Councilman Lotano. Councilwoman Yurick.
Yes.
Councilman Lotano.
Yes.
Councilman Kopp.
Yes.
Councilman Turnbach.
Yes.
Council Vice President Maruka.
Yes.
Council President Gagan.
Yes.
Item 13, an ordinance of the Township Council of the Township of Toms River, Ocean County, New Jersey, amending and supplementing Chapter 383 Parks Municipal of the Township Code to establish rules and regulations governing the Toms River Skate Park. This is a final reading.
Final reading. Does any member of the public wish to be heard or have any comments?
Seeing none, I move to close the public comments portion for this ordinance.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye. Move the ordinance on final.
Second?
Motion made by Councilwoman Yurick, second by Councilman Lotano. Councilwoman Yurick.
Yes.
Councilman Lotano.
Yes.
Councilman Kopp.
Yes.
Councilman Turnbach.
Yes.
Council Vice President Maruka.
Yes.
Council President Gagan.
Yes.
Next item is the consent agenda. All matters listed under item consent agenda will be enacted by one motion in the form listed below. There will be no separate discussion of these items. If discussion is desired on any item, that item will be considered separately.
Does any member of the council have any item you wish discussed or voted on separately? Does any member of the public have any items you have questions on? Or just seeing none, I'll take a motion.
Move the entire consent agenda.
Second.
A motion was made by Councilwoman Yurick, seconded by Council Vice President Maruka to move the entire consent agenda. Councilwoman Yurick.
Yes.
Council Vice President Maruka.
Yes.
Councilman Kopp.
Yes.
Councilman Lotano.
Yes.
Councilman Turnbach.
Yes.
Council President Gagan.
Yes.
Next, we have our reports.
Move the reports.
Second?
Motion was made by Councilman Turnbach, seconded by Councilwoman Yurick. Councilman Turnbach.
Yes.
Councilwoman Yurick.
Yes.
Councilman Kopp.
Yes.
Councilman Lotano.
Yes.
Council Vice President Maruka.
Yes.
Council President Gagan.
Yes.
Next up are the bills.
Move the bill list.
Second?
Motion made by Councilman Turnbach, seconded by Councilwoman Yurick. Councilman Turnbach.
Abstain from PO 21-04585 and PO 21-04838 payable to magistrates. Also abstain from PO 21-00653 and 21-04250 payable to Office of City Halls, Alpha and Zabarski. I'm a local attorney in town. I have conflicts with those. Yes to the balance of the bill list.
Councilwoman Yurick.
Abstain from PO 20-00569, 21-04174, 21-04560, 21-04561, 21-04562, and 21-04709, payable to Remington and Vernick Engineers. Yes to the balance.
Councilman Kopp.
I abstain from all bills payable to Owen and Little Associates and Sword and First Aid, and yes to the balance.
Councilman Lotano.
I have no abstentions tonight. I vote yes.
Council Vice President Maruka.
Abstain to PO 21-04763 payable to NJMVC, and 21-04585 and 21-04838 Toms River payroll items to the NJMVC lease program. I have a conflict. Yes to the balance.
Okay, and Council President Gagan.
I just have one abstention to Silverton First Aid, purchase order 21-04596. Yes to the remaining.
Okay. Next up, elected officials' comments.
Councilman Kopp.
Oh, thanks, Council President. I would just like to thank the parents, the coaches, and the players coming out tonight so we could honor them. They had a very successful season. They didn't make it all the way, but it was an honor to have them out here tonight, and it was an honor to be part of a great town to support them. The only other thing is we have the Comfort Food Festival, which is going to be held this Saturday. It's from 12 to 6. We're transitioning away from the chili cook-off, and it's going to be the Comfort Food Festival this weekend. It's going to be a great time to come out with the family. You're going to have great food, drinks, and a great time with the rest of the residents. I know myself, my family will be out there, and I'm sure most of this council will be out there too, and we look forward to meeting and having some comfort food. That's all, Council President.
Okay, thank you. Councilwoman Hurek.
So I also want to congratulate and thank the team members of the Toms River Little League East baseball team, as well as their parents and their coaches. It's amazing. They just made us so proud, and it's just so exciting that this town keeps producing such great baseball players. So, and also downtown this weekend, Thursday and Friday night, we have Exit 82 Theater Company is putting on a production of Julius Caesar. They're reviving that from last year. And so getting everybody back into, somewhat of a normal life, go to the theater, have a nice night out, have some dinner downtown. And just wanted to call everyone's attention to the 9/11 ceremony that we had again this year. Every year, 9:30 a.m., Fire Company Number 1 has a ceremony out on the corner of Robbins and Washington. It's open to the public. It's a beautiful ceremony every year. So it was an amazing day on Saturday. The weather was perfect, and so we keep everyone in our hearts that was lost on that day and since over 20 years. So, and that's all I've got tonight.
All right, thank you very much. Councilwoman
Thank you,
Maruka.
Council President. Also, I'd like to thank Fire Company Number 1 for providing a very touching and moving 9/11 ceremony. I just wish more people were there to see it. I just hope that we can keep on honoring the people that lost their lives, and especially have our younger generations who weren't even born 20 years ago, when we sat horrified at looking at those towers and what happened down at the Pentagon and also in the fields out in Pennsylvania. Second thing I want to do is congratulate again our Little League team. They had such a great season, and it was because of the coaches, the parents, and the kids themselves. They really truly a great bunch of young men, and they also have a feeder system. I know last Friday night at the Blue Claws, they honored the entire Toms River East organization, Little League, because they looked at their 8-year-olds, their 9-year-olds, 10-year-olds. And this group here was the 12-year-olds that came in for here, but they've got a feeder system. And I know one of the groups, I think it was the 10-year-olds they were just one game away from a state championship. So they're going to keep on producing great teams, and I'm sure keeping Toms River on the map for baseball. The next thing I just want to talk about is another event that's coming up. It'll be prior to our next council meeting, and it's a county event. It's the Ocean County Columbus Day Parade and Street Festival. It's back this year. That'll be held in Seaside Heights, and that's on October 8th, 9th, and the parade is on the 10th. It's also a great organization. They do a lot for our community, and it's a wonderful event, and I just ask everybody to come out and support that. And on that note, that's all I have, Council President.
Okay, thank you. Councilman Lozano.
Thank you, Council President. Again, I want to congratulate the Little League team. It's amazing. I've said it before, but there's like 3 kids on that team that I went to school with their parents, and some of them I even played Little League with. So it's pretty wild to see. September is Suicide Prevention Month. I just want to mention it. Right now there's a high instances of suicide, and somebody close to me recently had a family member. It was very tragic. So if anyone's feeling this way, please reach out. There's a lot of services out there, and I know for veterans, Recalibrate is one of them. But there's a lot of services, so please, if you're feeling like that, reach out. Both for the 9/11 Memorial and for the A Need We Feed 5K run that was this weekend, the fire department came out. They set up the American flag, and it was it's a big photo opportunity for everybody. Everybody loves it. I want to thank the fire company for that, and I also want to thank the board from A Need We Feed for setting it up. I know some of them are here, like Frank. It was a fantastic turnout. It was far more than normally turns out in the first year, and Councilman Turnbuck did quite well, I might say. One of the township employees took first place, Davies. He did fantastic. And lastly, Toms River is a waterfront community. Sometimes people, if you don't live that close to the water, you might forget it, but there are events that are set up fantastic in our rivers and bays. One of them this weekend is called Sup the River. It's stand-up paddleboard. It's a stand-up paddleboard race, but you don't have to race. You can barely get through it if that's your speed. There is a fun run / sprint. A lot of the kids do it. You don't have to be competitive. There's a 3-mile if you're a little bit more adventurous, and if you're a little bit more hardcore, there's a 6-mile race. And there are rentals available, and if you'd like to register, it will fill. It's probably pretty close to getting filled up now, but you can register at paddleguru.com, and it'll be a great event. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Turnbull.
Thank you, Council President. I also want to congratulate Toms River East Little League and echo what Councilwoman Maruka has said about the feeder system. My son's in 4th grade. He plays over at the Maple Tree Complex, and I can tell you this week we were practicing indoors, and there was such a buzz in the indoor because Joey DeMeo was there, and those kids look up to him as a hero. And these are 2nd, 3rd, and 4th graders, and you can see why that feeder system takes place, because you've got young men that are representing our town. We're very proud of them. I don't think they can appreciate or realize at their age the impact they have on the kids that are coming up behind them, but they have such an impact, and it was nice to see the buzz there and nice to watch. So a great job by all the coaches, the parents, and the township. I want to acknowledge Frank Davis and A Need We Feed for just an excellent event on Sunday. I want to thank Gary Morrison and Battle River Brewery. They have been tremendous down here with events, but it was just an all-around great day, a family day, and we look forward to round 2, and I hope Councilman Kopp comes out, and we'll see what we can do. On Wednesday and Friday of this week, we have some free meals coming in from Chef Lou's Army. Chef Lou's Army is from Chef Lou. Chef Lou runs a blend on Main and Manasquan, and during the course of our food distribution last year, he connected with the Toms River Township and began to provide hot meals, hot lunches, and that's going to start up again this week. So tomorrow at the Assembly of God Church around noon, we're going to have 750 hot meals provided to the church. They're free. You don't have to live in Toms River. They're excellent meals. So if you're in need, if you're hungry, going along with what A Need We Feed does. We got the community out and about, and I know they work a lot with Chef Lou's Army. They're going to be there. On Friday, Chef Lou's Army is going to provide another 750 meals for lunch at our Toms River food distribution, which is going on week 76. So we've got a lot of great organizations that we should be proud of in this community. I'm very proud of them. I'm proud of all the volunteers who week in and week out are at the food distribution. If you are in need, please reach out. And finally, this weekend really was the beginning of a lot of youth sports, and it was really nice to be out on those fields, out in the soccer fields, out on the baseball fields as we are working through this pandemic. Get out there and support your members of your community, your youth, and remember it's youth sports. That's all I have.
Thank you. Just make a few comments before going to Mayor Hill. Again, I want to congratulate the Little League, as previous council members have said. and nobody could be more proud of them. I remember when they won the Little League, the parade that they had 20 years ago. My father, whose picture's on the wall, he sat up here then, so it's kind of a little bit special to me also. Also knowing some of the coaches for many years personally, it's overwhelming. On September 27th, before our next council meeting, also is the Toms River Vesta Cup. Hopefully we see a lot of people out there. It's a nice community event. And over the weekend, attending the 911 memorial service given by Toms River Fire Company Number 1, the 20th year anniversary. Again, it was very somber, 20 years. Again, it was another event that I was up at briefly, and it resonates home from, with people here. Along with that, on a more positive note, we need to get the word out. It affects everybody. The open space referendum that we have on the ballot, we need to get that out there and publicize it. It affects all walks of life. It preserves our future. And as you can see by some things we did tonight, we're doing what we can with the money we have to preserve open space. And that's all I have. Mayor Hill.
Thank you, Council President. Again, this past weekend was a busy weekend. The county had their 9/11 ceremony on Friday. We had the Hope Sheds Light walkathon on Saturday morning at Seaside Heights Boardwalk. Then we had the 9:30 Fire Company Number 1 9/11 ceremony, and there was also a 9/11 ceremony at Sailfest at Island Heights. And then on Sunday, as Councilman Turnback said, Battle River Brewing had their initial 1, 2, 3 run for A Need We Feed. Also, I want to thank and congratulate the Toms River East Little League team. It's quite an accomplishment. Just to get to Williamsport is every Little Leaguer's dream. It's exceptional if you can win it all, but getting there is the important thing. And they won the New Jersey Championship, and they wound up going through the Mid-Atlantic region and going on and representing that region in Williamsport. And they did an outstanding job. Anybody who watched the games, the third base coach, Patty, was fielding a lot of hot grounders as they were in foul territory, barehanded. And I will tell you that the commentators go, boy, that's some coach down there. He must be picking those up with no glove. Well, I asked him tonight, I said, did any of them hurt? He said, yeah, a couple of them stung. But he did a great job, and the coaches and parents were very supportive under difficult conditions. Understand that these kids were segregated. They didn't normally you get to trade pins, you get together at Williamsport, you get together at the regionals. They all were in separate rooms. They couldn't see their parents. They could see them through a fence. They had to have social distancing. So it was challenging for the kids, and it was difficult, and I thought they did a great job representing the town. I want to thank the council tonight for approving the purchase of the Boy Scout building on 571. That's contiguous with the property that both the county and the township own, which was the old Camp Ablicondo site. We own the waterfront part. The county owns the part toward the road, but this is a nice addition. It touches that property. I could see it being used as a recreational building for possible canoe launch or paddleboard or kayak on the Toms River. And again, I salute the council for going forward with this. We need to preserve as much of this land as possible. We've heard over and over in different elections that this township wants to curb overdevelopment. And several years ago, we had a non-binding referendum. It passed 80% to 20%. Following year, we asked for a binding resolution of 1 penny, and it failed 57, I think, to 43. I think it surprised a lot of us. We thought with the overwhelming support on the non-binding that it would be an easy lift. We found that that's not true. So I need to encourage all of you. It's important. As you all know, the property values have risen dramatically. Ocean County is a hotbed for real estate. So what we could purchase last year with the penny and a half or a couple of years ago, not so much anymore. So we really need that extra penny. I will remind everybody that our open space accounts have been depleted with the lands we've purchased. We've purchased over 400 acres, I think, since we've been on this council. and we need to replenish that. But also, more importantly, is there's another round of COA coming, and the more open space that we have available, that's just going to be land that's going to be looked at for possible development. So if we can preserve the development and preserve this open space that we have left, I think it's going to go a long way. So please encourage your neighbors. It's one penny to get out and vote for it this November. It's critical. If the people really are serious about wanting to prevent further development, they're going to come out and support this. So again, please get your neighbors and friends. It's important. I know I'm harping on it, but it's important. We need the tools to purchase this land. You saw tonight we were able to reprogram money to purchase the Boy Scout building, but we don't have that kind of money available to make the purchases. So, we need it. It's critical. And thank you.
Okay. At this point, I'll open up the floor to public comments. Does any member of the public wish to be heard? Yes, sir. If you would, step up to the mic, state your name, address.
Yes, thank you very much, Council President. Jeff Horn, 1449 Sequoia Circle, also Ward 2 Council candidate for this year. Let me address two things. Since you guys are all, rays of sunshine bringing up your community events, I'll start with one positive thing. That is Habitat for Humanity has two big events coming up. This Saturday, the Walk to Build, that is the 18th at 9 a.m. at the south end of the Lavalette Boardwalk. Habitat does hardly any fundraising, so please come on out. It's 2 miles. It's an easy walk. Dick Reed, who you probably all know is an engineer in town and leader of Habitat, he's about 90 years old. He does it no matter what, even if he comes off surgery the day before. So please consider that. And their one other fundraiser, the gala at the Grenville, is on October 8th. So take a look for that. But I really came here tonight, Council President, to address something that's occurred within Ward 2, in particular, Greenbrier Woodlands. I'm disappointed that Councilman Roderick is not here because he's the author of a letter, and I'm sure many of you have seen this. It starts off Daniel T. Roderick, Ward 2 Councilman, and at the bottom, this message was paid for personally by Daniel T. Roderick, lists his address. And the content of the letter is highly misleading in that it is sent to the Greenbrier residents indicating that action taken by the council will wind up increasing the budget for the maintenance of fire hydrants and so forth by $20,000. The amount is misleading. It's further misleading in that Councilman Roderick voted for the very budget that he now attempts to knock down. It's a classic. I'm a lawyer. I create straw man argument every single day, okay? Don't tell the judges we do this. We create the boogeyman, we attack the boogeyman, and we get off track when the facts are not on our side. And that's exactly what you've got here. But the most disturbing part about this, Council President, is the envelope. I like to call it the wrapper, right? We all buy wrappers. This wrapper, Greenbrier resident, local postal customer, so it's sent to everyone, presumably within the community. I don't know that for sure. And the return address is not Councilman Roderick's home or his business or his campaign headquarters, but it is Greenbrier Woodlands in a dark border with capitalized thick white letters, and the bottom, Greenbrier Association fee information. So this wrapper gives the imprimatur of something official, important, and something that will cost the people of Greenbrier money. So it's highly misleading. Frankly, I'm shocked that he sent this out during a campaign sort of saying this is my personal letter. But it's misleading to our seasoned citizens who I'm sure are concerned about every single dollar. And for a sitting councilman to send something out that is, as I say, factually misleading, but even worse, to send it out with a highly egregious and offensive envelope, totally misleading, I think is something that's worthy of action. I'd be happy to leave this with you. Some of you may have seen this floating around. It's been brought to my attention by numerous people in town, hence why I came out to share this information with you.
Well, thank you. Yes, our personal cell phone numbers were included in on that, and instead of us spending time, like Councilman Latano, trying to get Cracker Barrel in town, me meeting with the DOT, we're trying to present facts and give people the facts. It was a budget that I had to abstain on, as I'm a volunteer firefighter in that district and have been for 40 years or something. But yes, we have seen it. Thank you for your input. It hasn't gone unnoticed. And,
Well, thank you very much for considering it. And one other important public piece of information. In 10 minutes, if I make it across the parking lot, I'll get to see my daughter play the Toms River South Field hockey game versus Brick. So
good luck.
Go Indians.
Good luck. Thank you.
Council President, I just want to say one thing with regard to that. And Mayor Mohill's listed in this letter. We all know Mayor Mohill didn't vote on this. This is a council vote. And Council President, you're listed there, and Councilman Kopp are listed there. And this was a 5-0 vote, and both of you abstained from it. So this isn't a partisan attack. This is a bipartisan representation here. The truth matters and facts matter. And I'm sure Councilman Kopp and Councilman Gagan, and I know Councilman Latano, spent time fielding calls on something that was placed out to our seniors. And we've got to do something about this, because this is essentially a scam. It's preying on seniors, and it's wrong. It's wrong. You didn't vote on this. You couldn't vote on it. You abstained. But any senior that's going to read this is going to think, Mayor Hill, yourself, and Councilman Kopp pushed this forward. And it's just factually not true. And why you've got to send out an envelope. You're going to send out a letter? Send out a letter, put your return address on it, put your campaign headquarters. To put Greenbrier Woodlands is simply deceitful. It's to scam the residents of Greenbrier. And of course they were upset, and I can't imagine how many calls you got. But we should take action on this. This isn't what the council does. Understand it's campaign time, but we've got an obligation to tell the truth and present the facts. You present the facts and tell the truth, we may have differences of opinions, but you're not going to have this. And anybody that's putting a return address up that's not theirs, it's deceitful. So I would ask the council to consider some action.
Okay. Thank you. Yes, sir. If you would just state your name and address for the record, so it's on the
Frank
tape.
Davis, 20 Westridge Road, Toms River, New Jersey. I agree with Councilman Turnback. I've worked in Medicare for many years. Senior citizens are a protected class, and they should not be manipulated this way. The council should take action.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr.
Thank you
Davis.
very much, sir.
Appreciate you.
Any other member of the public? Sir, in the back.
Chris Aldrich, 318 Ashford Road, Toms River, New Jersey. I'm going to refer to my phone. I know it said no cell phones in there, but I also would like to talk about this because another letter was sent to residents of Lake Ridge by a Seniors for Count the Vote, Toms River, New Jersey, 08755. I didn't have a chance to print this out, so I apologize to the council. I can email it to the council. I can email it to the mayor. But in the same letter at a fire commissioner meeting in September 1st, Councilman Roderick had said that he had sent this letter to the residents of Lake Ridge to denounce Pleasant Plains Fire Company of buying a new rescue truck. I was fire chief of Pleasant Plains 2005, 6, and 7. I did 20 years in Pleasant Plains. I did 10 years in the Office of Emergency Management. Letters like this should have a face behind them. They shouldn't be hidden behind a phony address. If somebody's going to go against the fire companies, they should stand up publicly and do that, not hide behind a fictitious address. For many years, I worked with council, I worked with fire commissioners, worked with the police department. We've provided good service to the citizens of Toms River, and I think this is an absolute disaster that something like this could go on. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes, ma'am.
Catherine Galeotto Gillespie, Greenview Way in Toms River. I just wanted to invite the council and mayor to some of the events that are coming up, more events for your calendar. These are happening at the American Legion Post on Church Road, and I'm just inviting you as an ambassador, as the unit historian to the American Legion Auxiliary Post 129. We have a lot of great events coming up. We haven't had them in a while, of course, so we'd love to have your support in publicizing and attending these events. The first one is on October 3rd. It is a gift auction. So press your luck and see if you can win some lovely prizes. On October 30th, we are returning with a psychic fair. So see what your future might hold. And on November 27th, we have a craft and vendor fair at the American Legion Post. Again, all hosted by the American Legion Auxiliary. Additionally, the Sons of the American Legion Detachment of New Jersey, on the very busy September 18th weekend day, is having its 31st annual POW MIA Watchfire event on the Bayfront side of Route 35, as hosted by the Seaside Heights American Legion Post. That's happening again this Saturday. It's a 12-hour Watchfire vigil for POW MIA. It starts at 7 p.m. and goes until 7 a.m. And thank you, Councilman Latano, for mentioning and recognizing that September is Suicide Prevention Month and that organizations such as Recalibrate can serve as a resource to that. Thank you.
Thank you. I just renewed my SAL membership, so. All right, does any other member of the public wish to be heard? Yes, sir. Okay.
There's also Just Believe Inc. is doing a craft festival.
If you would just state your name and the current address for the record,
Daniel
please.
Kessel, 7 Vale Street. That Just Believe Inc. is also doing a festival at Winding River Park on Saturday. And also October 2nd is Oktoberfest in South Seaside, South Toms River. You guys should all come out. We're Split Hub as a sponsor of that event. It's going to be a great day. But, so what we're here today is to ask you for a few minutes of your time, maybe 3 of you guys, council members, after this. I've actually spoken to Terrence about, it's about cannabis is what we're here to talk about. And we're going to have your ordinance thrown out. You guys made a mistake, and we've spoken to multiple lawyers. We want to give you guys the opportunity to look it over with us, because if this information gets into someone else's hands, it opens the gate to state regulations. I explained the case to Terrence. We would like to meet with you, because if you don't, we are prepared to fight and sue you guys big time, and pretty much guaranteed victory with everyone we've spoken to. We don't want this information in the public, but we're willing to put it in the public if we feel that's where it's going to go, because the Cannabis Committee just didn't do what it was supposed to do. They were talking about medical. This was supposed to be about rec. You didn't show up half the time. So we would like to maybe work with you guys, because it's pretty important, and you're not going to put us behind the 8 ball when these applications drop in a month. So by next meeting, this is formal notice of our intent to sue. So in 2 weeks, you will be sued, but we're giving you now the opportunity so that, because when we win our case, because it's not if, it's guaranteed victory, state rules, because it's after August 21st now, which means you guys can't go back and fix this. I knew this happened right after the last council meeting. I've been sitting on this information, but I had to wait for that deadline to pass to make sure you guys couldn't go fix it first. So we're asking to work with you guys, because trust me, you guys keep saying you don't want the state to have control. We're going to hand over control right to the state if you don't start changing your attitudes on this issue, because 64% of Toms River voted for it. Your Cannabis Committee meeting, yeah, I defended it that day because that lady was a joke, but the Cannabis Committee is a joke. No storefronts, no delivery services, handing it, out-of-state guys on it that were in the committee. An out-of-state company was on the committee. What was he doing here? The guy that owns all the liquor stores in town, he was on it. Nah, man, this ain't for him. This is to fix wrongs in the past and give other people opportunities. He can stay with his liquor business.
They weren't voting, they were
But
advising.
they were advisors, but what were they advising for?
They were advising on
It doesn't matter.
controlled
We will
businesses.
have the ordinance thrown out. Terrence, I know the sunshine law, we can't meet with all of you, but we can meet with 3 of you after this meeting. So I highly recommend that you, and you meet with us after this council meeting, and we will off the record, give you we're going to hand you the evidence. It doesn't matter. The evidence is out there. You can't fix it. You can't go change it. Our case will win. There's nothing you can do about it. But we don't want to open the floodgates for the state rules either. We're standing here willing to work with you guys. But if you put us into a corner, well, we're putting you now in the corner because we have the victory on our side. Doesn't matter if the judge is white, black, Republican, Democrat, Chinese, it doesn't matter. We will win. To every judge and lawyer I've spoken to in New Jersey, and trust me, it's been a lot. So we're asking you for a few minutes of your time before we hand over control to the state and open up the floodgates to every single company that wants to come to Toms River, because that's where we're going with that if you don't give us a few minutes. Thank you.
Thank you. I did try to make as many meetings as I could. Unfortunately, on Thursdays, I'm riding an ambulance. In fact, if you remember the one day I was here, I left in the middle of it. Coincidentally, we had a 911 call for a drug overdose that I had to go to. So anyways, that's where I had to go to. Okay. Thank you for your input. Does any other member of the public wish to be heard? Okay, seeing none, I'll take a motion to close public comment.
Seeing none, motion to close public comment portion of the meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to move to executive session?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
If he's turning lawsuit.
Whereas Section 8 of the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, Public Law 1975, permits the exclusion of the public from a meeting in certain circumstances to discuss matters requiring confidentiality and/or of a privileged nature. And whereas the Township Council is of the opinion that such circumstances presently exist. Now therefore be it resolved by the Township Council of the Township of Toms River in the County of Ocean and State of New Jersey as follows. The Township Council will now conduct a private executive session. The general nature of the subject matter to be discussed and/or acted upon is as follows: attorney-client privileged communications, contract negotiations, and personnel matters. The following specific items to be discussed and/or acted upon are the executive session minutes review of August 24th, personnel issues of the Township Clerk's Office, and legal review analysis of medical cannabis issues and cannabis committee recommendations. It is anticipated that the deliberations conducted in closed session may be disclosed upon to the public upon the determination of the Township Council that the public interest will no longer be served by such confidentiality. Motion to go into executive session was made by Councilman York, second by Councilman Turnbull, with all in favor at 7 o'clock.
from the state.
To answer your question.
I don't think Maria was making it back up here. She had to run. So, yeah.
Do I have a motion to go back into public session?
So moved.
All in favor? Motion to adopt the minutes of August 10th, 2021. Councilwoman Yurick. Yes. Councilman Lotano.
Yes.
Councilman Kopp.
Yes.
Councilman Turnbach.
Yes.
Council Vice President Maruka had to leave, and Council President Gagan.
Yes.
Motion to adjourn? All in favor? At 7:54. Thank you very much.